If I were to travel back in time to coach my younger self on how to get an aesthetic physique as fast as possible, this is how I would do it. First off, we need to define exactly what an aesthetic physique is so we can plan accordingly. So, for the most part, this is what it looks like. Big upper body, small waist, low body fat, six-pack abs, and proportional legs. We want to be big, muscular, and aesthetic, but not to the extent of an IFBB pro. For the upper body, we're going to want to build what's called a V-taper, which is characterized by widening the body at the top through the shoulders and back, and narrowing at the waist, making a V shape. We'll also want to develop the legs as well to balance out the upper body. This combination should have our body shaped like a Y, and it's pretty much the male equivalent of the hourglass figure. Now that we know what the end result looks like, we need to get to work and put on massive amounts of muscle mass. I'm going to need some size. What we need to do is start resistance training. And if I'm looking to build muscle as fast as possible, then I need to find the best movements that incorporate the most amount of stress on each muscle and actively progressive overload on everything. For the most part, we're going to want to use weights because we can set the load to where our strength is, but we can always defer to calisthenics movements if they're better or equipment is unavailable. So for the back, we'll want to do pull-ups. If you can't do a pull-up, then you'll want to do lat pull-downs or pull-up progressions until you can. Then once you get comfortable doing a few reps with perfect form, then advance to weighted pull-ups. For shoulders, we'll want to do overhead press. Barbell is the preferred method, but you can downgrade to dumbbells or some type of pike press variation. For the chest and triceps, there are two main movements that we want to focus on here. We want to use the barbell bench press to build that big chest. Alternatives would be the dumbbell version or push-ups. The other movement is the dip. We'll want to work up to doing bodyweight dips by either using seated machine dips or using assistance with weight or bands. And once we're able to do a few reps comfortably, then we'll want to advance to weighted dips. For legs, we'll want to do squats. Barbell is the preferred method, but you can always downgrade to either leg press or bodyweight squats. Other notable movements that I would recommend for building more mass include the deadlift, incline press for building a more fuller chest, and chin-ups for the biceps. If we want to build muscle quickly, we'll have to work on getting stronger quickly too. So we'll want to do those movements in low rep ranges, somewhere between 5 to heavy singles per set, and we'll want to add weight whenever we can. While we're doing all those heavy movements to build the big muscles, we also have to remember not to neglect the little ones. We don't just want to be big and muscular, but we want our muscles to pop out when we flex with our striations and veins. So that means we need to dedicate some time to train those small muscles in isolation. So for our shoulders, pressing will take care of the top and the front, but we also want to round out the side and the back. So we can incorporate a lateral raise for the side delt, and for the rear, we want to do some type of rear pulling movement such as the rear delt fly or face pull. For the middle back, we'll want to incorporate some type of horizontal row, and for the lower back, we'll want to incorporate some type of back extension. For the arms, we're going to want to do press downs or extensions for the triceps, and some form of curl for the biceps. For the legs, we have squats taking care of the quads, so we'll want to work on our hamstrings and calves. For hamstrings, I would do Romanian deadlifts, but you could downgrade that to some form of hamstring curl. And for calves, you could do seated or standing calf raises. Since you won't be able to lift as much using only one muscle group at a time, we're going to want to work with low weight, high rep ranges, somewhere between 8 to 15. Now for abs, let me remind you that your abs are also muscles, which means we can train them with progressive overload. We'll want to develop our abs with both static and active movements. For static, we have planks. We'll want to start with the basic elbow plank and look to progress by either adding load, duration, or difficulty by removing one of our limbs. For active movements, we can do cable crunches or some sort of hanging leg movement. That way, we can adequately stress our abs with some sort of loaded crunching. So we got the training plan, we know what we need to do in the gym to build muscle, but now we gotta get our diet right so we can get that muscle to stand out on our bodies. So that means there's two things we need to do for our diet. We need to ensure that we're taking enough protein to support muscle building, and we need to control our caloric intake to ensure fat loss. Every day we want to try to take in at least 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of current body weight. The easiest way to do this is to just eat some form of meat in every single meal and supplement with protein bars or shakes if needed. The second part is making sure that we eat in a caloric deficit so we can make sure that we're losing fat. We can't choose where to lose fat on our bodies, so we have to just focus on losing weight and let our bodies burn fat where it can. The simplest way to do that is to clean up our diet and try to eat as many whole food sources as possible. That means consuming non-processed foods such as meats, fruits, and vegetables, and drinking water, instead of filling up on fast food, snacks, and soda. You can eliminate hundreds of excess calories by simply making better dietary decisions. And as long as you remain in a caloric deficit, your body will continue to slim down until you get into your best shape. Not only will you make progress towards getting that aesthetic physique, but you will feel better physically and mentally when you eat higher quality foods. And when you feel better, you will perform better. So let's put this all together. To build an aesthetic physique, we'll want to pack on muscle mass using heavy lifts. We want to make sure we're building substantial size with our upper bodies and enough size to balance it out with our legs. And we also want to develop muscle definition through targeted isolation movements. We then want to make sure we're consuming enough protein and calories to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. If we can maintain this progress and gradually improve it wherever and whenever we can, then sooner or later, you will get that Greek god physique that you've been longing for. And a few last notes, but 1. Don't train your obliques if you're looking to become aesthetic. You will be adding mass to those muscles on your side, and that will detract from the small waist look. And lastly, remember, if getting an aesthetic physique is your goal, then that should be the reward for your work, not cheat meals or any other distractions that get in your way. So that's it for this video. If you found this helpful in any way, I would appreciate you giving this a like, leaving a comment if you have something to say, and subscribing to stay in the loop for any future content that I make. I have a Discord focused on self-improvement topics. You can join with the link below. And if you want me to personally help you build your aesthetic physique, then there's a link for you to set that up. That's it for now. I gotta go to the gym. Bye-bye!